Welcome to the channel Get Rich. Today the company we are going to look into is Coforge Limited. So Coforge Limited is a technology company. After COVID, technology stocks are climbing higher and demand is surging more and more because more and more business will tend to digitalize their services after COVID. So today let's have a look at Coforge Limited. So, first, look at how the Coforge Limited evolved over the time or the history of Coforge Limited. So, initially, Coforge Limited was NIIT Technology. So, NIIT was established in 1981 by Rajendra S. Pawar and Vijay K. Dadani, graduates from IIT Delhi with 1 million rupees. NIIT conceived a franchising model in IT education for the very first time, setting up 9 centers by 1987. In 1986, NIIT began their journey into software domain, beginning with software product distribution under the InSoft brand. The company also began offering advice and consultancy to large corporations on how to leverage technology and make optimum use of their IT investments. The previously called NIIT Technology is a leading IT solution organization servicing customers in North America, Europe, Japan, Asia, and Australia. It offers information technology solution services in application development and maintenance enterprise solutions, including managed service, cloud computing, and business process outsourcing management. So these are their history. So throughout their journey, inorganic growth is an important element of their growth strategy. So they acquired a lot of companies. In 2006, the company acquired UK Insurance Solutions Company, a leading name in the insurance market in the UK. In the same year, the company partnered with Adecco SA. In 2008, NIIT Technology launched its unique fleet management system solution accelerator to address the growing public passenger transportation and trucking business for logistics support. In 2012, the company launched CrewWings, an application for airline cabin crew members. In 2012, the company acquired Sabre Philippines Development Center. So in 2014, the total number of new clients they added is 16. These included several multi-million dollar and multi-year deals both in international and domestic markets, including businesses worth $300 million from a top BFSI client, and also a 3,440 million rupees contract with the Airports Authority of India to set up state-of-the-art airport operations control centers across 10 cities, and 2 contracts over $25 million is secured from existing BFSI clients in the US. In 2015, the company invested in and launched Plus Advantage Shoot, a next generation platform designed to support growth and underwriting profitability of commercial insurance firms. In 2018, they acquired another company, Roulette Tech, a US based BPM architecture services company. In 2020, NIIT Technologies was rebranded as Coforge Limited. In April 2021, Coforge acquired 60% stake in SLK Global Solutions for 918 crore rupees. After this acquisition, the company's new employee strength has risen to almost 21,000. So let's have a look at their business. So which are the sectors their revenues are coming from? Their main business revenue is coming from their insurance sector. That's the top revenue generating sector for them. So almost 30% of their revenues are coming from insurance sector. And then the second comes the banking and financial services sector, which is almost 16%. And then we have travel, which is almost 28% in financial year 2020. The travel was also a big chunk of their revenue is coming from the travel sector in financial year 2020. But as you know, the travel sector took a huge hit due to this COVID crisis. But if you look at in the numbers of financial year 2021, 32% of their revenues is coming from insurance, 19% of their revenues is coming from travel, 17% of their revenues is coming from banking and financial services, and other sectors contribute to almost 31 percentage. But if you look into their geographical uh, breakdown of the revenues, so Americas comes first, almost 48 percentage of their revenue is coming from Americas, and the remaining 37 percentage is coming from Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and the rest of the world contributes 15% to their revenue contribution. So if you look at the growth year over year for different verticals, the insurance sector grew at about 11%, and banking and financial service sector grew at about 25.8%, and their transportation sector fall almost 22%, and their other sectors grew at about 35.6 percentage. So these are their year over year growth or for each of their sectors. So let's first have a look at their insurance sector. So almost 30 million plus policies are transformed from their application, 100 billion plus premium payments written using their application, and they have 100 plus active insurers. So if you look at the technologies they are working on in this sector, they are working on cloud services, digital transformation, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and IoT. So these are buzzwords, but let's have a look at what they are doing in their sectors. So if you look at the cloud services, they are reducing their expense ratio through cloud efficiencies, and they are helping to launch new products and capabilities in days compared to months. And then if you look at their digital transformation, they are trying to simplify complex workflow of the insurance value chain. And also there are stringent data privacy and compliance requirements that they are trying to digitalize in this sector. And then they are also working on blockchain in the insurance sector. So in the blockchain they are trying to automate real time data collection, analysis of claims, and reserve calculations for reinsurance. Also they are trying to automate smart contracts for quick claims settlement. So one of the greatest advantage of blockchain is writing smart contracts, so they are using smart contracts for quick claims settlement. And then if you look at the artificial intelligence or machine learning, they are trying to extract insights from health history documents using computer vision and NLP to improve underwriting and claims processes. If you look into the IoT, so they are using auto insurance, launch usage based auto insurance using telematics, and also they are helping the insurers improve recovery time for short term disability claims using wearables. So these are the technology they are working on in the insurance sector. And the next sector, if you look at the banking and financial services sector, they have almost $1.5 trillion assets on platform solutions and services of their own, and they have 200 plus financial institutions supported, and their client retention ratio in this sector is almost 99 percentage. So then if you look at some of their platforms or the partners they are working with, their Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, MuleSoft, and many other platforms they are working hard having partnership with. And if you look at their asset management systems, the Coforge provides end-to-end consultancy led technology and BPO services covering the entire value chain. So the next sector is travel sector. If you have a look at the travel sector, Coforge manages technology operations for leading airlines and airports across the globe. They have about 50 plus airlines as their customers. They are delivering complex system integration programs across 100 plus travel solutions. Coforge specialist airline software capability delivers revenue accounting and fare audit solutions for over 25 airlines. They are servicing the big 3 cruise lines across the globe. They have about 40 plus airport implementations, and they also have other revenues from the sector, like they have about 50 plus hotel and casino technology operations managed. They have $2.5 billion rail passenger travel enabled annually. So they are doing a very good job in the travel sector. And then if you look at the other main works they are doing with technology in this sector is mainly the intelligent automation. So as we know, due to the COVID, we have to maintain distances and wear masks in this time. So they created a third eye and AI MI powered passenger flow management system. So they monitor distance between people from CCTV footage. So they have real time bird eye view of an area. They sent out notification alerts. So they also generate floor density heat maps. They also partnered with APPI for Health Passport, a digital health verification platform underpinned by blockchain technology to restart the travel, transport, and hospitality industries. So these are the things they are working on. Travel sector, their main customers include British Airways, Carey, DB, Eurostar, and Sita. So they have very big names in the travel sector. And then if you have a look at their other sectors like health sector, which is pretty small as of now, so they have 10 plus years of experience servicing healthcare and life science clients. So they are also doing pretty good job in this segment. They are still growing at they compared to other sectors, this is pretty small. They are also operating in public sector, so they also have 10 plus years experience in public sector. They are serving clients in Europe, USA, Australia, and Asia. They are on a G Cloud 12 framework. They are a CCS DOS 5 supplier, so they are also doing a pretty good job in public sector. They have clients like Department for Work and Pensions. They have HM Revenue and Customs. They have NHS Health Research Authority as their customers, Alzheimer's Society as their customer. So they are also having a good customer base in this sector. And then let's have a look at their top clients. So if you have a look at their quarter 4 2021, top 5 belongs to 25% of their revenues, and if you look into the top 10, which is 36% of their revenues, and if you look at the top 20, which is 51% of their revenues, so the others contribute 49% of their revenues. So then let's have a look at the order intake. So they recently added 11 new customers in this quarter, the 4 customers in US, 5 in Europe, Middle East and Africa, and 2 in rest of the world. They took about $201 million in the recent quarter. So if we break down into geographically, almost 119 million from US, 65 million from Europe, Middle East and Africa, and the rest of the world contributes 17 million if you break down the order book in the last quarter. So if you look at their $1 million clients, they have almost $115 million clients. So they signed 2 significant deals in quarter 4, both in travel vertical. So their order intake is pretty good over the quarter. So in the first quarter it's $186 million, and then 201, and then 192, and then $201 million. So they are doing pretty good order intake. And then if you have a look at their people data or their employees, how they are growing, in June 2020 they have about 10,598 people employees, and then 11,162 in September, in the next quarter 11,424, in the last quarter 12,391. Almost 967 employees are added in the recent quarter. And if you look at their attrition rate, it's almost 10.5% in the last quarter. And if you look at the utilization rate, they are about 81%. They are utilizing their workforce. That's also pretty good. And then now let's have a look at their financials, how their financials are panning out. So if you look at their revenues in $1 million, in financial year 2021, they did about $628 million revenue. In financial year 2022, it is expected to be $814 million, and in 2023, it is expected to be $943 million. So it's a huge growth, but there is a reason behind that. So as you were aware, last month they added a new subsidiary, SLK Global Solutions, where they have acquired a controlling interest. So it is a business process transformation enterprise offering BPM and digital solutions for the financial services industry. And they have a very good customer, very huge customer, which is Fifth Third Bank. So after consolidation, already Fifth Third Bank has become a top 5 account for Coforge Limited. So this subsidiary, if it is consolidated with Coforge, their revenue will increase in the next year. So this SLK Global have higher margins compared to Coforge Limited, and they are also growing at a higher rate compared to Coforge Limited. So it's a pretty good thing. So this is going to be a huge growth driver in the coming years for Coforge Limited. And then if you look at the income statement, so their sales was around 914 crores in March 2010, and it increased to almost 4,663 crores in March 2021. And if you look at the net profit, it increased from 126 crores to almost 456 crores in March 2021. And if you look at the dividend yield, they are maintaining a decent dividend yield from 20% to 40% in that range every year. So that's a pretty good thing. And if you look at the sales growth for the past 10 years, it was around 14%. Profit growth was almost 10%, and their return on equity was also maintaining at about 20%. So that's pretty good. So they are doing a decent job in the income statement. And then if you look at their EBITDA margin, currently in financial 2021, their EBITDA margin was about 16.9%, but their EBITDA margin is expected to increase to almost 19.2% in 2022 and 19.4% in financial year 2023. So why this margin is going to expand? What's the reason behind that? So the main reason was their travel sector was hit a huge hit in this year, and they're expecting their travel sector to contribute to a much higher margin coming ahead. So that's one of the reason. And also they have acquired a new business which have a higher margin compared to Coforge. That's also going to help them to increase their margins. So their EBITDA margin is going to increase. And then if you have a look at their profit after tax, they have a profit after tax of 456 crores in financial 2021, and it is expected to be 677 crores in financial 2022 and 815 crores in financial 2023. So that's a huge increase, almost a double in 2 years their net profit. So that's also pretty good growth going ahead. And then if you have a look at the balance sheet, so their balance sheet is increased from 824 crores to almost 3513 crores in March 2021. And if you look at the reserves, they have almost 2400 crores as reserves. And if you have a look at their borrowings, they have zero debt. So that's a pretty good thing. So they have a very decent balance sheet. And then let's have a look at their shareholding pattern. So if you look at the promoter shareholding, recently the promoter from NIIT Technology, they sold it to a private equity fund. So their promoters are recently changed, and so that's why they rebranded to Coforge Limited from NIIT Technologies. And recently the promoter is holding at about I think 65%, and the FII trend is also almost the same for the past quarters. And if you look at the mutual fund holding, they increased in last quarter, or from September to December there is an increased mutual fund holding, and then they decreased a bit in March quarter. So then let's have a look at their what mutual funds were doing in the previous month. So in the month of January, they reduced to almost 3,18,000 shares were offloaded, and in February also they offloaded shares, and in March they bought about 2,58,000 shares in March, and April they also offloaded 6 lakh shares, and in May 2021 they bought a huge chunk. So almost 21 lakh 82,468 shares were bought by mutual fund. So in the month of May they increased their shareholding to a highest possible in the previous years. So their mutual funds was the highest in May compared to all of the whole previous years. So that's a very good thing. Mutual funds are still buying in May with a huge valuation. And then if you look at their top shareholders, what they were doing, so their top shareholder, I think Axis, so they increased almost 14.93%. And then many of the Axis mutual funds, they increased their shareholding, and the others also increased their shareholding, except HDFC Children Gift Fund, they offloaded 16.67%. All other funds were buying. So that's also a good news. And then let's have a look at their price chart. So if you look at the price chart in last year March 2023, it crashed to almost 1000 rupees from 2000, and after that from 1000 it went all the way to 4000. So it increased 4 times in 1 year from 1000 to 4000. And if you look at the PE ratio, so it is trading currently at 52 PE. It's a pretty big PE valuation for a technology company, but of course it has a huge growth potential. It's a very good company, but then 52 PE, I feel it's overvalued. That's my personal opinion, of course. So if you look at their revenue projections, so from financial year 2016 it was 2688 crores to almost 2021 it's 4663 crores. I expect it to make 6062 crores for financial year 2022 and 7092 crores for financial year 2023, with a revenue growth of 30% for 1 year and 17% for 2 year. And also their net profit I'm expecting to grow from 456 crores in financial year 2021 to 616 crores in financial year 2022 and 770 crores in financial year 2023, with a profit growth of 35% for 1 year and 25% for 2 years. And if you look at the valuation, so the price target with current valuation with the P of 52, the 1 year price target would be 3913 with minus 2%, and in 2 years it's 5282 with 33% growth, and in 3 years it's 6603 rupees with 63% growth. That's huge, but that's with a PE of 52. But I believe it is overvalued. So I estimated with a price target of PE 40, that's also still aggressive. So according to me, 30 would be ideal, but still it has high growth. So PE of 40 would still be okay. So if we estimate the price with a PE of 40, so in that case, it's 3010 rupees for 1 year, 4063 rupees for 2 year, and 5079 rupees for 3 year, with the price cumulative growth of minus 24% for 1 year, 2% for 2 year, and plus 28% for 3 year. So this stock is good. The Coforge Limited, it's doing pretty good. They are doing very good stuff. They are having a pretty huge growth, but one must be careful about the valuation. So at the valuation of 52, I believe it's highly overvalued. So that's my personal opinion, and you have to do your due diligence before investing in any stock. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. And if you like this video, like, share and comment. And if you are not subscribing my newsletter, please subscribe my newsletter, which is free in the link below. So thank you for watching and have a nice day.